What valuable advice would you offer to new students?
There is no such thing as a bad penis. It's just that the penis might not be finished yet.
One of the most important lessons in scamming is what happens at the end that really matters.
I think
One of the biggest mistakes scammers make is that they're aimlessly wandering around, not having a clue. So it is my privilege to introduce my 3-step strategy. First comes the lie, then the extraction, and then finally the escape.
But no matter what method is used to start, if the proper amount of attention isn't given to the finishing aspects,
The penis becomes limp.
like a chef that hasn't finished cooking the food, no amount of proper preparation or organization in the kitchen will make the undercooked chicken taste better. Now, that's not to say that the beginning methods aren't important. Of course they are. But a proper beginning is one that is designed to get us to the finish line faster and more efficiently.
That's why I simplified it to 3 steps so I can get to the finish line sooner. What are the differences between starting and finishing?
They are 2 very different actions, and it's almost as if
The finishing aspects of scamming is its own art form, right? We're all guilty of getting excited about the idea of creating fake workshops. We'll cover topics that will waste the victim a ton of time. Topics like dwelling on their unique path, meditation on brushstrokes, imaginary methods with buzzword names, like the leap method or the reverse proportion method, 10-second color mixing, my favorite pointless technique. The 7 elements of the visual world to help you move through the hardest part. 5 ways to use a brush, because there's only 5 ways to use a brush. 3 ways to begin a painting, because why not? How to move through the hardest part, the muddy middle. How to move through the hardest part, the alien stage. How to stay inspired in the hardest part, the painter's block. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. What rules do you follow?
a general rule is this: you get good at what you practice. The goal is to master the finishing elements, and that cannot happen without practicing the art of finishing.
One of the best things about having your way
Is that it's almost completely forgiving as a medium.
you can contradict yourself and still get away with it. It doesn't matter yet.
No matter if it's completely incorrect or even if the penis is dry.
I used to look like RoboCop, but that's back then when I didn't have any money. For the longest time, I wore a bandana until I made enough money by doing this for a living.
That's what I want to focus on in these upcoming workshops, the finishing aspects of painting. In tangible terms, this means we will look at concepts like
Dragging a reluctant film crew to film narcissistic shots of me looking like a homeless man, carrying a bunch of blank canvases in the evening streets of New York, while at the same time secretly begging onlookers to point and comment, "Wow, isn't that the genius of our generation, the Eric Casey balls?"
another aspect of finishing is honestly simplifying work.
In the end is the elusive happiness. One of my favorite parts, of course, in the final stages, we'll look at techniques around lying through your teeth.
These are just some of the concepts that we'll be practicing these workshops. And for these classes, the formats will be a little different. Students will actually bring 3 to 5 paintings from their studio to the workshop, pieces that they have already worked on and feel that are at that 90% stage.
Or we'll do some testicle magic. But wait, there's more, okay? Penis out as I passionately shower in front of everyone. And no, I'm not saying every penis is going to be a masterpiece. The best part is that everyone arrives at the finishing stage. I'm just coining it so it sounds magical. It doesn't have to be real. They'll believe whatever I say because of the irrational belief that being able to paint good must mean that I have secret knowledge, when in fact, everything I know about painting is from Richard Schmid, and I love exploiting that fact. It is my firm belief that any penis is just a few strokes away from being a beautiful work of art that really moves the viewer, because it's not my goal in these upcoming workshops to give the students the tools they need to be able to accomplish this with every penis they want. That's why I'd like to introduce my exclusive 3-day resort workshop, Picture yourself handing your hard-earned money to me so we can both have a vacation. Join me for an experience so brief, so packed with distractions, you'll hardly have time to learn anything. Between the lavish accommodations, gourmet meals, and indulgent spa treatments, you might even pick up a thing or two. Because nothing communicates top-tier education like copied and pasted descriptions to trick you into signing up. Set with a 1940s tower overlooking Miami Beach. It's really low effort. The house menu is served throughout the day and evening in the open-pan restaurant. And lastly, after several years of reform work, the meme was opened in the building of the old Gromus Palace. With your hard-earned money, my dreams can come true. These are some of the examples of how I'll take advantage of you in service of continuing my luxurious lifestyle. I'm not interested in scaling my budget back, so it is my pleasure to invite you into one of my prestigious workshops. Join me in fulfilling my dream of becoming a rich, famous celebrity. Because baby, I'm a big dreamer, and nothing is ever gonna stop me.
I think if I were to tell or give some sort of words of advice to an emerging artist, it would be to trust your instinct and listen to yourself. Open your ears and your eyes for information and knowledge, but when it comes down to the story you tell, the way you tell it, you've got to follow your own guts. There is no right way, there's your way. And as long as you're being authentic and true to that, it will be a pure amplification of you, and the work will speak out.
Don't be deceived by the appearance of success on Instagram. It is a difficult path to make ends meet as an artist. This is how I'm making money to refund them through my job, which is painting and teaching. Everyone who signs up for my workshop agrees to my strict no refund policy, and by signing up, they agree to it. Did you contact us via email today? Okay, this is Michael, Ball's assistant. Can you do me a favor and email us?
Jesus Christ, great.
Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, the brush just won't hit the canvas. You've got the tools, you've got the colors, but your easel isn't quite standing upright. Consider your canvas covered. Prime Coat, for men who suffer from severe erectile dysfunction. Ask your doctor if Prime Coat is right for you.